Hey everybody, it's Colin Weir from Pastor Mac Real Estate in Merritt Island, Florida. How's everybody doing? Well, I'm back again with another one of my BPO training videos that I got here for you guys. So anyway, this one I'm going to call for today. This one is BPO video number 4. Call this one "How to Make Adjustments on a BPO CMA." Basically, what this video is going to cover is just pretty much just kind of like rules of thumb, like figures that you would use in your adjustments and everything. I got like a list of them right here, as far as like square footage, age, etc., those things like that. So anyway, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So I'm going to start throwing some figures in here. So that I'm going to start showing people how to, just kind of how to determine, pricing and everything, and the way you would factor those in when you make your adjustments on your BPO. So anyway, I'm going to go into that here. I've kind of broken it down a little bit. So first one here I'm going to go over is the first of all, I mean, this doesn't have to be exactly in this order, but I try to make it simple as I can, just trying to make this easy on everybody. So the first thing typically, square footage. Generally speaking, I adjust for, like, when you have to adjust for square footage when doing a BPO or CMA, basically same idea. I typically use a rule of thumb of about $50 per square foot when I adjust for a property. When you have a comparable, generally speaking, but I'll use 50, sometimes $60 per square foot if the one of the comps happens to be like you know, basically like if you're subject property, then your comps, of course, if that's maybe like a newer build or a luxury, say if it's 5 years or less or a luxury property, then you might adjust $60 in that case. And generally, if you're going to have a subject property that's a fairly new build or luxury, therefore you're going to use comps that are comparable, so such as either newer builds or luxury properties, so that sort of thing. Far as age, I generally adjust $500 per year on age. If it's new or older, it doesn't really make a big difference, really. I pretty much used all these figures whenever I've done BPOs and CMAs. They've generally worked fine. So age, you generally want to adjust, plus or minus, $500 a year on that. So that's what I use. If there's a adjustment for a bedroom, generally I use $10,000 per bedroom, plus, plus or minus, like if it has a bedroom or not. So I use $10,000 for a figure on that adjustment there. For a full bathroom, generally I just $5,000, plus or minus, So for a full bath, basically just $5,000 is what I use. If there's a half bath, in that case, just figure half of that. That's a good rule of thumb. I just use $2,500. So if there's a half bath, just adjust that much. If there's a garage, generally speaking, if it's a two car, I typically go $10,000. Age doesn't really matter. Luxury, it's not really critical. Typically, if it's a two car, I adjust $10,000. If it's a one car, just figure half of that, just $5,000. Pretty simple. So just depending, plus or minus, you use that adjustment for your comps. If there's a carport, typically I just $2,500 for a carport. That can be a house, it can be a mobile, it can be anything. It doesn't really matter. I've used them on condos, townhomes, mobiles, just regular single family residence. Doesn't really make much difference. So basically, just $2,500, and that tends to work fine. The other thing you'd have to adjust for is a pool. Pool, typically I go about 22,000 on a pool. Just generally speaking, if it's a newer, like a newer build, say 5 years or left, or less, or a luxury property, then I might adjust about 24, maybe 25,000, because it's property's generally worth a little bit more in that case. So that's what I use. Uh, these are the main things you're going to have to use when you adjust on most BPOs and CMAs. These figures and these topics that I just touched on generally will work fine. There are some BPOs I've come across when I was doing a lot of other ones. So usually when they're foreclosures, they tend to be a little more critical. There are some where they will require adjustments, like for the location, maybe the style of the home, those sort of things. Lot size. I mean, it all depends. It just depends on the format. They do tend to vary once in a while, but all the stuff that I'm going over right here, these are just good solid figures I use. Some of the other ones can be a little bit difficult to determine when it starts coming to lot size or location or view. I mean, sometimes they can get a little bit, picky about that sort of thing, and those figures might be more critical. But I'm just trying to give everybody the basic building blocks right here. Just I would suggest making a little list of these things, kind of like I have here. Make a little cheat sheet, as I call it. That's what I always had. I typically had one on a folder I would use for all my BPOs, so I would just kind of refer to that. But now I know them really well. But I would just make a list of these, and that way you can easily just have them handy, and then you can refer to them when you are in fact doing a BPO. Like if you have one pulled up on your laptop and you got the page and everything there, then you can just refer to it and makes it a lot easier. And after a while, you do a lot of these things. I mean, they're just you're gonna know them. I mean, you get them down, no problem at all. So anyway, I hope this one is very helpful to people. This is when they start getting a little bit fun here. You start throwing the figures and everything in, and they can get a little bit complicated, but really they're not that difficult. I try to keep these things basic and straight to the point as I can on everybody. So as I go, I'm going to progress, and they might be a little bit more difficult, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Just this is just a set of figures. Hopefully, everybody will find useful when you do these, and hopefully they'll make it a lot easier on you. So anyway, hope it's been a good video and everybody likes it. And look for me on my next video. I will have another one coming up soon here. Video number 5 I'll be doing soon. So I'm going to get that out there soon. But anyway, till next time. Bye bye.